What if I told you that within you dwells a power so immense that, if directed with intention, it could awaken your spiritual heart, open your inner eye, and ignite divine consciousness itself? It is not found in distant temples or reached through empty prayers. It exists right here, between your roots, dormant, waiting. It has a name that may surprise you: sexual energy. Yet the ancients did not see it as mere passion or pleasure. For them, it was the original fire of creation itself. For countless centuries, many traditions guarded in silence a knowledge now nearly forgotten: the art of masculine energetic transmutation and its central practice, testicular breathing. This is not a modern technique or passing spiritual trend. It is a practice woven through millennia, preserved by alchemists, Taoists, Tantricas, and mystics who understood one profound truth: semen is not merely biological seed. It is a fountain of spiritual energy. And this energy, if not squandered, can rise through your spine, nourish your heart, and illuminate your third eye. In essence, it can transform you into a truly conscious man, awake to your own divinity, sovereign in your presence. This video is not for those seeking pleasure without purpose, nor for those afraid to face themselves. It is a call to the man who remembers himself as a temple. The man who knows his sexuality is not a game, but a sacred pathway to power, creation, and awakening. Here, we will explore with depth and without shame the secrets within testicular breathing. You will understand what it is, how it works, and why its practice can transform not only your body, but your mind, your emotions, and your entire energetic field. We will trace its ancestral origins, its connection to the sacred masculine, and how it elevates energy from the testicles, the cauldron of vitality, upward through higher centers like the heart and the third eye. It is an act of inner ascension, of living alchemy. You will also learn how to practice it, discover common errors, and understand the gifts that come to those who approach with devotion. Because this is far more than a technique of sexual control. It is a direct pathway to inner mastery and the expansion of masculine consciousness. Though its name may cause surprise in some, testicular breathing is one of the deepest paths toward masculine spiritual power. You are not here by accident. Perhaps your soul has reached the point where it no longer wishes to squander its energy, but to elevate it instead. This video is an initiation, a call to consciousness from the deepest roots of your being. From the mystical sands of ancient Egypt to the silent temples of the Himalaya, the ancients knew something modernity has forgotten. Sexual energy is not merely physical, it is divine. And its proper channeling was considered a sacred science, an internal alchemy, a bridge between the animal and the celestial. The practice of testicular breathing, though not always called by this name, is knowledge transmitted in symbolic codes by various initiatic cultures. Taoist sages spoke of the golden elixir, an energetic substance that accumulated in the male genitals and, when refined and directed, ascended through the central channel known as the Du-Mai meridian toward the crown, illuminating each energy center along its path. For these ancient alchemists of the body, the testicles were not merely biological organs, but living crystals, temples of vital storage, where the life force, called Jing, condensed. By breathing consciously from them, one could activate this energetic reserve and transform it into a subtler vibration, qi or transformed vital energy that would nourish the mind, the heart, and the spirit. In Tantric India, we find parallel wisdom. Siddhas and yogis spoke of Kundalini, a serpent of fire sleeping at the base of the spine. The oldest texts recognize seminal potency as its primary fuel. Sexual transmutation, practiced with breath and concentration, was known as Vajroli Mudra, a technique to elevate sublimated semen toward the brain, opening states of expansion and samadhi. Even in Western Hermetic tradition, we find striking parallels. The axiom, solve et coagula, dissolve and reunite, was an internal indication. Dissolve the dense energy of sexual instinct to coagulate it into spiritual light. Christian alchemists spoke of the inner Christ being born in the heart, an esoteric description of transmuted energy ascending from the loins toward the chest. Though names change across cultures and centuries, the principle remains eternal. Creative energy must not be wasted, but refined. Not denied or repressed, but transformed into fuel for awakening. Because within it lies the power of the universe itself. Creation, expansion, manifestation. Testicular breathing is a forgotten piece of a much larger map. A map that reminds us the body is not an obstacle to spirit, but its most sacred instrument. That sexuality is not sin, but an ancient art of illumination. The man who learns to breathe from his roots reclaims not only his vital potency, he reclaims his spiritual royalty. He becomes an alchemist of himself. At the heart of masculine internal alchemy lies a universal principle. What does not rise, stagnates, or dissipates. Testicular breathing transforms sexual energy, that raw force at the root of the body, into an ascending river of living consciousness. Imagine your testicles as two sacred chalices. Day after day, they store the densest, yet most creative energy of your entire system. This is not merely semen, but Jing, vital essence, an energetic concentrate holding your genetic inheritance, your immune strength, and your overall vitality. This energy can be used three ways: wasted through habit, repressed into tension, or breathed, elevated, and transformed into energetic gold. Testicular breathing is not literal breathing from the testicles, but directed consciousness and synchronized breath. You focus attention on that energy center, visualize and feel the warmth, and use breath as a bridge to move energy toward higher zones. Why breath? Because breath is the only voluntary bridge between the physical and the subtle. To control breath is to control energy flow. Air is spirit's symbol in all traditions. When you combine attention, breath, and purpose, you create an internal circuit where what was stagnant begins to flow. Practice seated, spine straight, perineum lightly engaged. As you inhale, visualize a golden sphere activating in your testicles. As you exhale, imagine that sphere rising through your spine, passing through the abdomen, solar plexus, heart, until it reaches the space between your eyebrows. This ascent corresponds to the central energy channel, Sushumna in yoga, Dumai in Taoism. As energy rises, it nourishes each chakra, purifying blockages, releasing tensions, awakening memories. This is not merely visualization. With practice, you feel a subtle, warm current rising through your back. Sometimes tingling, other times an electric pulse. In certain moments, a profound expansion of consciousness. This is not about avoiding ejaculation as moral act, but recognizing that constant loss of this energy weakens your physical body and entire energetic field. Energy that does not rise dissipates. What is not honored becomes depleted. True mastery is not tensing against impulse, but refining it until it becomes vision. Blind fire transforms into directed light. That is alchemy, transmuting the dense into the subtle, the instinctive into the spiritual. And it all begins by breathing from where no one taught you, from the hidden temple between your hips. Testicular breathing is not merely another technique within spiritual practices. It is a pathway of masculine energetic initiation. And like all initiation, it must be walked with respect, clarity, and purpose. Because the same fire that illuminates can also burn. When transmuted sexual energy reaches the heart, the center of love and compassion, a profound transformation occurs. What was once physical desire becomes vibrant devotion. The heart radiates a powerful magnetic force, capable of attracting, healing, and expanding consciousness. This is why many men practicing this technique report not only greater vitality, but more conscious relationships, balanced emotions, and an opening toward deep feeling without fear. Sexual energy elevated to the heart transforms desire into service, into tenderness, into sacred presence. If energy continues ascending to the space between the eyebrows, it enters the realm of inner knowledge, spiritual vision, and awakened intuition. The vital impulse becomes transcendent vision. Fire at the base becomes light at the brow. In Taoist texts, this was nourishing the spirit. In Tantric yoga, bringing semen to the bindu, a subtle point behind the brow that, when activated, awakens visions and instantaneous understandings, connecting you with the soul's purpose. The result is a man who inhabits his own center with clarity and power. From there, he creates, manifests, radiates. However, a common error is forcing energy's ascent without clearing the internal channels emotionally and energetically. If energy encounters blockages, it can become diverted, stagnate, or generate anxiety, insomnia, or irritability. Combining this practice with others that open subtle channels is essential. Work with chakras, unblock the diaphragm where emotions lodge, clear the central channel through conscious breathing. It is also dangerous to approach from ego. Believing you master energy because you contain ejaculation is not alchemy. It is repression disguised. True mastery is not controlling the body, but harmonizing the intention that moves desire. Without humility, this becomes narcissistic. With humility, it becomes profound masculine awakening. How do you know if practice is working? Not through longer erections, but through transformed presence. You become magnetic without effort, inhabit your body with nobility, your heart opens without fear, your mind clarifies, and a sweet fire accompanies you, as if something within remembers you have come home. That is the true result. Instinct transformed into light, sex into wisdom, fire into spiritual vision. Testicular breathing is not only a technique to practice in solitude, it is a key that, once turned, begins transforming how you inhabit yourself. For this alchemical wisdom to take root, you need a way of living that accompanies the elevation of energy. Here I share practical, yet profoundly spiritual keys to integrate this practice into your daily life. First, create a sacred space daily. A corner where silence is real and intention pure suffices. Practice testicular breathing regularly, even if only 10 minutes. Consistency refines energy, not duration. Practice upon waking or before sleep, honoring that moment as if tuning your soul with the source itself. Second, stop seeing sexual energy as a problem. Many men fight their desire, believing it an enemy. But desire is a powerful current that only needs direction. Observe it with respect, not as animal, but as a river that can irrigate your higher centers. Each time you feel it, remember, this fire can rise. Third, connect with your heart before any impulse. Before falling into compulsive habits, pause, breathe. Place one hand on your testicles and one on your heart. Ask yourself, can I elevate this energy toward love? Can I offer it as an act of inner transformation? This simple gesture redirects your energy. Fourth, feed your fire with consciousness. What you eat, see, and think feeds or contaminates your energetic field. Avoid toxic stimuli, pornography, violence, dense foods disconnecting you from your body. Seek art that elevates, living food, nourishing company. Your energy mirrors your environment. Guard it carefully. Fifth, honor slowness. Alchemy is not instantaneous. We live addicted to the immediate, but transmutation requires patience and presence. The ancients spoke not of results, but of processes. If one day you feel nothing, continue. If another brings intensity, observe without attachment. Testicular breathing reveals, and revelation comes when you stop controlling and begin allowing. Sixth, carry the practice into your relationships. When you transmute your energy, your bonds transform. Your partner feels it. Practice breathing before intimate encounters, not to last longer, but to be more present. Transform the physical act into a rite of energetic fusion, where sacred masculinity offers itself with integrity and openness. Living from a transmuted sexual center is living as a conscious man, a modern alchemist who embraces fire, elevates it, and offers it to the world as light. For centuries, the knowledge of the body as a temple was hidden, ridiculed, or fragmented. We were taught that the spiritual must deny the corporeal, that purity meant renouncing pleasure, that desire must be repressed and sexual energy contained in shame or guilt. But the ancients knew differently. They knew that divinity is not separate from flesh. It is latent within it. Testicular breathing is an act of alchemical redemption, a silent affirmation that a man can reconcile his most primal pulses with his highest yearning. There is no contradiction between desire and consciousness. Sexual fire is not sin, it is a portal, and when breathed with intention, it becomes the wind that propels the soul toward the heights of spirit. This video does not seek merely to inform, it seeks to awaken, because today, more than ever, the world needs men who live from their center, not from hardened ego, nor from false spirituality, but from a sacred masculinity that has made peace with its creative energy. Breathing from the testicles is, in truth, breathing from origin itself. It is honoring the place where life is born. It is declaring that your energy will no longer be prisoner to impulse, nor victim to conditioning. You have remembered your power, and you have chosen to elevate it, direct it, and offer it. Because each time you breathe from your root with consciousness, you do not only purify your body, you attune your entire field to your divine essence. In that instant, you become a bridge between earth and sky, between the instinctive and the eternal, between the warrior and the sage. You need not be perfect. You need not be illuminated. You only need to take one step. Breathe, feel, elevate. And from there, let every action, every thought, every bond Be an expression of that refined energy you now know dwells within you. This is your moment, your calling, your initiation. Because when a man transmutes his fire, he does not only transform his life, he transforms the world around him. Thank you for joining us in this journey to the hidden center of your power. If this teaching has resonated, do not keep it to yourself. Live from it, share it, and always remember, your body is sacred, your energy is divine, and your breath is the key.